long before our names were spoken, long before cities rose from the patient earth, long before iron was torn from stone and wheels began to turn, there was a world of raw, breathing wonder. There was only the wind, a voice that sang across empty plains. In this young world, fire was a treasure. It was small and new, a flickering spirit kept alive by careful hands. It was the heart of the people, the place where stories were told without words. The people who kept this fire were themselves new. Aaron was the king of his people. He was young, his eyes were dark, the color of wet rock after a cleansing rain. His hands were strong, calloused from the hard work of shaping tools from flint. He was a king who walked among his people. Lumi was a light among them, her name a perfect match for her spirit. She was bright, like the first rays of sun that break through the clouds after a long storm. Her hair was long and dark. Her laugh was a soft, gentle sound, a melody that seemed to possess the power to calm a rising wind. She knew the secret names of herbs that could heal a wound. She could read the land as if it were a story, but her greatest skill was reading hearts. She saw the kindness in Aaron, the strength that was not for show, but for shelter. They loved each other. They did not need to speak many words to say it. Their love was in the quiet moments, sitting side by side as the flames of the long fire danced, sharing a handful of sweet berries and dreaming the same dream, to keep the people safe and to keep the fire alive. The world was a place of beautiful power, terrible power, and survival was a daily struggle. Great cats with teeth like daggers, walking the edges of the firelight, their yellow eyes glowing in the dark. One day, the familiar rhythms of their lives were shattered. A shadow fell over the camp, the shadow of a man, more men behind him. Sori, a king from a distant land where the sand was as red as blood. His eyes were cold and sharp, shining with the hard light of a flint blade.
Come, be queen of the red sand.
No, my home is here.
And he reached out and put a hand on Lumi's arm. They seized Lumi and began to drag her away from the fire, away from her home. In that instant, the world narrowed for Aaron. All he felt was a storm breaking inside his chest. The smoke from the long fire thinned and swirled in the sudden emptiness of the camp.
I will bring her back. I will bring peace.
He placed his open palm directly over the heart of the flame. The fire did not burn him. He spoke his vow to the fire and to his people. The people nodded, and a whisper went through the crowd. Aaron, Aaron. He walked, he walked. He did not run. This was not a race of speed, but of endurance. He walked, the world around him a symphony of harshness. Sharp-edged sand cut into the skin of his feet. He did not slow. He found a cold stream trickling from high rocks. He cupped his hands and drank. He ate little, only a few dried berries from the small bag. He thought of Lumi, her face, her smile. He spoke to the wind as it rushed past. Guide me, show me the way. Dusk bled across the sky and he came to the mouth of a cave. An elder woman, hair white as sea foam, skin mapped in wrinkles. Her eyes held him, dark, clear, seeing both his road behind and the path ahead.
King, your spear is strong, your heart is stronger, but on this path your mind must lead the way.
Nara drew in the dust. A high cliff, a fortified gate, a large fire pit.
Sori wants more than love. He wants to own the fire. He fears the dark more than any man I have known.
She gave Aaron a small, smooth stone. It was black and cool to the touch.
This stone holds starfire. Knock it against another stone. It will make a spark.
The path grew steeper now, winding its way up the side of a great cliff. The air grew thin and cold, and each breath was a conscious effort. Night fell completely. The stars were cold, distant eyes watching his struggle without pity. 2 points of light shone in the darkness, the eyes of a great beast. Aaron's hand tightened on his spear. He did not run. He struck the black starfire stone against another rock. A spark flew, then another. A wisp of smoke curled up, and then, with a soft whoosh, a small flame was born. The beast stopped dead in its tracks. Fire was a king in the night. Aaron did not let the fire die. He sat by it, feeding it, guarding it. To keep himself awake, he began to sing a song his mother had sung to him.
Light stay, light guard, light come home.
In one of those brief moments of sleep, he dreamed of Lumi. Lumi was not a stone to be possessed. Sori held her in a great hall carved from red rock. He tried to win her over with displays of his power and wealth.
Be my queen, I will give you necklaces of rare shells. I will give you a fire that never dies.
She looked Sori directly in the eye, unwavering.
A king who must take a woman is a weak king. A king who wins a heart is a strong king.
Sori's face darkened. He was not used to hearing no. His pride was wounded. But Lumi's spirit was not easily broken. Instead, she watched. She listened. As she paced her prison, she began to hum a quiet tune. Aran in the rocky hills reached the red land. He heard the tune. It was Lumi's song. Relief and fierce pride washed over him. She was alive. She was smart. She was sending him a message. He was close now. The time to act was coming. Night fell. The moon rose, a perfect white shell in the black velvet sky. From his hiding place, Aran lifted a conch shell horn to his lips. He blew a single soft note, not a loud blast of challenge, but a low, resonant call. Inside the hall, Lumi heard the faint, familiar sound. Her heart beat fast and hard. Aran walked straight into the main courtyard, spear loose in one hand. One man against a fortress. Sori appeared on a high stone step, flanked by his guards.
You came alone?
I came with truth. Let her choose. If she chooses to leave with me, we go in peace. If she chooses to stay, I go in peace.
No, we fight. She is mine.
A person is not a thing to be owned.
The drums crashed back to life. The clash began. Spears met with a sharp crack of wood. As the two kings fought, she acted. She kicked over a small pot of hot coals. She snatched a long stick from firewood and thrust it into the main fire bowl, holding the burning torch high, a beacon of defiance.
I choose my life. I choose my home.
For the space of a single breath, the entire hall went still. Aran saw his moment. Her action had created a crack in the wall of noise and violence. He did not throw his spear at Sori. He hurled it with all his might at the largest drum. The spear hit with a tremendous crash. The drumhead burst. The relentless beat stopped. The other drummers faltered, their rhythm broken. Sori's men, who fought to the beat of the drums, lost their step. Silence fell heavy, like a stone. Sori, enraged, let out a furious roar. He rushed at Aran, clumsy with anger. Aran stood his ground. He did not meet Sori's raw force with his own. He used his opponent's momentum against him. As Sori charged past, Aran pivoted. He tripped Sori with a clever sweep of his foot. Sori stumbled toward the central fire bowl, skidding to a halt inches from the flames. For the first time, Sori felt true fear. The fire he claimed to own nearly consumed him. Aran could have pushed him into the flames. Instead, he offered his hand.
A true king protects even his enemies. Choose wisdom over fear.
Sori, humbled by his own weakness, stepped back from the fire and from his claim. Lumi walked across the hall, not as a prize to be won, but as a person making her choice. She took Aran's hand, not in submission, but in partnership. Together, they walked from the Red Hall into the night. They returned to their people by the sea, where the long fire still burned. The flame that had dimmed in their absence blazed bright again. The people celebrated not just their return, but the victory of love over possession. Their story became legend, passed down through generations around countless fires. 4 million years later, we still tell their tale, of love that chooses rather than takes. For true love, like fire, cannot be owned, only tended, shared, and kept alive. Aran and Lumi walked home together, not as conqueror and prize, but as equals who had chosen each other. Their hands were intertwined, but neither held the other captive. Their people ran to meet them, faces bright with joy and relief. The long fire, which had burned low in their absence, blazed high again. Aran spoke to his people of what he had learned.
True strength is not in taking what you want, but in protecting what you love.
Lumi shared her own lesson with the women and children.
A person's heart cannot be captured like a bird in a cage. It can only be given freely.
Far away in the red desert, Sori looked at his empty halls and cold fires. For the first time, he understood the difference between fear and respect. He released the other women he had taken, asking their forgiveness. Slowly, his people began to trust him again, not from fear, but from choice. Seasons passed. Aran and Lumi's love deepened with each turning of the year. Children were born to them, raised not as possessions, but as free spirits. They taught their children that love is not about owning another person. It is about choosing to walk the same path, while remaining free to choose. Their story spread from fire to fire, carried by travelers and traders. Each telling added new details, but the heart of the tale remained the same. Love cannot be taken by force. It can only be given freely and received with gratitude. The legend crossed mountains and deserts, reaching peoples who had never seen the sea. Years passed, and Aran and Lumi grew old together, their love only growing stronger. Their hands were weathered by time, but still chose to find each other. When death came for them, it found them together, still choosing love over fear. The long fire burned on, tended by new hands but carrying the same spirit. Civilizations rose and fell. Cities grew where once only grass had grown. But around every fire, in every age, the same story was told. The names changed, the details shifted, but the truth remained constant. True love is not about possession. It is about choice, respect, and freedom. 4 million years have passed since Arn and Lumi walked the earth, yet their story lives on because it speaks to something eternal in the human heart. Every day in every corner of the world, people face the same choice they faced. Will we try to possess what we love, or will we choose to honor its freedom? Like the fire that Arn and Lumi tended, love cannot be owned or controlled. It can only be nurtured, protected, and allowed to burn freely. When we try to cage it, we extinguish it. When we honor it, it lights up the world. This is the lesson that echoes across 4 million years of human history. Love is not about taking. Love is about giving freely and receiving gratefully. It is about choosing again and again to tend the fire together. This is the legend of Aaron and Lumi. This is the eternal fire of true love.